got an absolute spectacular Crafter's Companion collection for you. It's a sparkling winter, and this is absolutely jam-packed full. You've got over 530 elements. Look at the size of the box, but do you know what? The size of the box, that then shows you how much is going to be inside. Let's dive straight in and have a look. So we're going to open it up. Look how that opens and that unfolds, and look at the size of the box. It's jam-packed full. Now you have got your tissue paper, it's Crafter's Companion branded, and you've got a little welcome is there from Sarah. But look inside, this is everything that you're going to be getting. Now you're going to be getting these pre-cut tags. Now these are on a white cardstock. Ink them, spritz them, stamp them, colour them, do whatever you want, even add them to your parcels, but they're all included. You've then got all of these sentiment stamps as well. So you've got a 4x6 sheet as well as a couple of separate ones as well. Lovely little Christmas verses, and then you've also got a few Christmas sentiments too. They're included. You've then got all of these clear gems and also these pearls as well. You can come along and ink them if you want to, or just leave them within that natural form. They're all included and all self-adhesive. You've then got your stencil as well, so you can ink and spritz through that or emboss it with your Gemini. That's included. We are then giving you your pre-embossed card fronts too. Now these are 4x6 in size. You've got white, ice blue and navy. So already done for you. All that you need to do is add them to your card or add any of your inks if you choose to do that. That's included. Then what we're going to give you is all of these card fronts as well. So these are going to be good for all your mats and layers. You've got your different sizes here. You've got your square, your rectangle, as well as the 6x6. That's there within the white and also the navy, all that pearlescent cardstock. We're then giving you these die cut sentiments too. Navy once again, white and ice blue. You're just going to then pop these ones out. The white, of course, you can start to colour. Silver foiling, that's then going to create that resist if you're using your inks. That's all there for you. You're then going to get your little treat box. So all that you're going to do is fold them up within the score lines already done for you, and then that gives you your little triangular treat box as well. They're included, all done for you. Then you're going to be getting in total your 36 card blanks. All these card blanks are in a pearlescent card as well. So you've got your 4x6, you've got your 6x6, you've also got your 4x4 as well, within the pearl white, in the pearl navy. That's included too. Look, still going. Still going. You've then got your navy satin ribbon too. Now you've got a great big reel on there. That's included. You've then got your silver metallic thread as well. That's going to be really, really good for attaching something I'm away to show you in a moment. You've then also got your laser cut snowflakes as well. So you can come along with your inks, maybe your metallic pastes, or you can then just leave them natural if you want. They're all there included. Then talking about that silver thread, what you're going to be getting is all of these silver bells as well. And they make a jingle, as you can hear here. And then you can then just come along, thread the metallic silver thread on the top, and then add them to your project. They're included. You're then going to be getting gilding flakes. Now you're going to be getting the silver. It's a 20ml pot, but then you're also going to get your little scourie. And then you're also going to be getting your liquid glue. That's your stays sticky glue. So wherever you lay the glue, that's going to stay sticky until you pop your flakes over the top. Or you might want to pop your glitter. So if you want to use your iridescent glitter, you can use that with the liquid glue as well. You've got that fine pot in there, jam-packed full. You've got a little sprinkler top as well. That's in there. Then we're even giving you a 30ml tub of the glitter paste as well. It's that clear, you've got that shimmer with that sort of AB, Aurora Borealis feel that runs all the way throughout. That's included too. Then we're going to be giving you 3 of our shimmer ink pads. These are brand new colours that are just done for a sparkling winter, and they're going to complement. You've then got, of course, your sparkling winter. You've then got your ice blue, and then you've also got the midnight frost as well. That's included. Now, to go with the card blanks I showed you a moment ago, you get all of the envelopes as well. So 36 of the envelopes, that's included. Then we're going to be giving you all of these laser cut designs. You've got all of these borders as well. You've got all of these panels as well that all you're going to do is just snip them out or pop them out. They're on a non-coated card. ink, spritz, glitter, flake, do whatever you want, you can do that. You can even stamp onto there if you want to. They're included. Then we're giving you more of the laser cut, full snowflakes. These are all included as well. You've got them where you can do the same, ink and spritz and put your flakes over the top. You're then getting more. Now these ones here are your half snowflakes as well. You've got a full sheet of them. Then what about the little mini snowflakes? Now I say mini, these absolutely pack a punch with the amount that you're getting within the sheets. All laser cut once again, like everything else I've just shown you a moment ago. So maybe you just want to scatter a few about. You don't need to do much, but you've got so much craftability with the inks that you want to use. Should you do that? That's included. Then not only can you make your cards, we're even giving you your pre-cut and scored box bases and lids as well. So if you want to make little gift boxes, treat boxes, you can absolutely do that. You're just going to fold, burnish, and then use your adhesive of choice to create the actual boxes. You've got them in the navy, you've also got them in the white, the box base, box lid, already included as well. Then we're going to be going in to our metal charms. We've got our snowflake metal charms as well. They're included. And then as we go further in, what we're then going to be having a look at first is our 8x8 papers. Now these are uncoated. Look at the design. If you love that look and feel of layer and texture, but you're not quite confident in doing it yourself, if you're not too confident in doing that faux foiling, this is all done for you. It's completely smooth and flat, there is no texture, but the way that they've been designed with the ice blues, the whites, you've got your navies in there as well. All of these are absolutely exquisite. That's in there as well. But we're still not even finished there, because what we're also giving you is 8x8 constructing weight acetate as well. Now you've got a variety of different designs, full backdrop of snowflakes, or of course you've got more of that subtler snowflakes that we can see within this one here. That's included. And then last, but by no means least, and I say that very, very lightly, you've then got your white foiled vellum. Also 8x8, but this white foiling is going to then create a resist if you want to ink or spritz. Use the whole lot, tear it, die cut it, or maybe just use little sections. You can absolutely do that. That is everything that you are getting included within a sparkling winter. You've got your cardstock and papers, you've got your acetates and your vellums, you've got your laser cut pieces, you've got all of your embellishments, you've got all of your jingly jangly bells, you've got your ink pads, you've then got your glitter glues, you've got your paste as well, you've got all of your different stamps. All of that is included within this full box. That's giving you over 530 elements, and that is everything that you're getting within a sparkling winter that's going to enable you to make some of the most beautiful cards and projects, such as this one here. So I tell you what, let's get started and show you how you can make it. Now within the sparkling winter, one of the card blank sizes that you get is a 4x4 card. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this cute little card, but we're going to change it up ever so slightly by creating a fold back. So we're just going to set that one out the way for now. And then what I've already done is I've taken in one of my card blanks. Now with this one being the 4x4, now all the card blanks are that pearlescent as well. You've got the white and the navy. Now I've just taken my scoreboard and just scored that down in half there. And then I've just created my fold back. All that I'm going to do is give that a nice little additional burnish so that we've got that nice professional edge to them. And then that is the basis of my fold back 4x4 card. Now taking my pattern paper that I've already cut to 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now what I am just going to do is I'm just going to leave that in its natural form. But remember, you can come along, you can ink it, distress it, you can use your crimpling tool and distress it that way, use your glitters, use your flakes. You can really start to get crafty when it comes to the layers. But as I say, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then when it comes to my little panel here, I've already cut that one down to 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then we're just going to add our adhesive on. So I'm using my tape runner. So we're just going to add our tape onto the back and we're just going to work all our way around. Now for this one, what we're going to do is where we do that fold back, I want it to be on the front. So we're just going to then add that onto the base there. And because we've got that ice blue and then we've got that navy pearlescent, that already frames it. I don't need to add any additional mats and layers if I don't want to. You've got the option to if you want, maybe a little bit of white, but it's not essential to do that. So all that we're going to do is we're then just going to come in with our next layer. That can go over to the back there, and that is the base already done now when it comes to the pattern paper. So I'm going to then take 2 of these laser cut snowflakes. So these are the half laser cut snowflakes, and all that I've done is I've just popped them ones out ready to attach to my card. So what I'm going to do with these ones here is I'm going to use my tacky glue. So this is just my Collal tacky glue in the little small applicator. If you want to use your dotty tape runner or your spray, you absolutely can do. But all that I'm then just going to do is I'm just going to then add my adhesive to the back. What you will find is one is really nice, white, crisp and clean. The other has a little bit of a browny tinge towards the edge. That's where it's been laser cut. So what you've got the option, if you want that little shallower outer edge line when it comes to the way that it's been cut, you can use that, or you can use the white. It's up to you. I'm going to keep it so it's nice, crisp and clean with the white on the front facing me. So therefore, I'm going to go onto the back, and then where I've got the little bits of the snowflake, I'm just going to go in and I'm just sketching with my tacky glue. So we're just going to add the tacky glue over the back. Tacky glue spreads, so I don't need to cover it into every single piece of the snowflake. But then what I'm going to do within this one here, I'm going to come along and then I'm going to pop that towards the left-hand side. So I'm popping that to the left-hand side where I've got that fold within that fold back. And then I'm just going to line that up. So we're just going to line it up. We're going to get it straight. And then we're just going to press. We're just going to manipulate that into place. And then that is our left-hand side done. What we're then going to do is we're going to take our next one. I'm going to do the same. Where I've got that brown tinge of the outline, where it's been cut, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my glue onto that side. So we're just going to dot and sketch over these little components, and then once that we've then got that full backing covered with adhesive, what we just need to then do is pop that one into place, but on the right hand side. And what I mean by that is if we take our snowflake, now this I'm going to press down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that one up to the right hand side. I'm then just going to press that in. I'm going to straighten that up as well. I'm going to move that one out the way so I've got time and space to then just come along and then press. And because I'm using my tacky glue, it does mean that I've still got that little bit extra time to go back once again and manipulate that. So we've now gone from a full snowflake to 2 half snowflakes, and it's creating extra dimension and extra focal for the eye. Because of that, I don't need to do much to it, but what I will do is take some of those silver gems that you get included, and then all that I'm doing with my pokey tool is I'm just going to go around each point of the snowflake, and I'm just going to add them into place. Now these are all pre-sticky on the back, so all you need to do is just pop them off and then pop them into place. So I'm doing them to each point of the snowflake. So we've done that onto the right hand side. I'm then going to do the same onto the left hand side. Now if you want to come in and add more into some of these other areas, you can do, but I'm just taking the 5 of them for the left hand side, 5 for the right, and I've only had to use 10 in total, and I'm still left with loads. So then that's adding that sparkle to your carte blanche. What I'm then going to do is bring in my sentiment. Now I've already stamped this one. It says Winter Kisses and Snowflake Wishes onto white cardstock and added a matten layer with that navy pearl. And then the other thing that I've done is tied a little bow with that satin ribbon that comes included. And then these gorgeous snowflake charms, I've just popped some of that metallic thread all the way through, and that's going to create a nice little embellishment when it comes to my project to finish off. And talking of finishing off, all that I'm then going to do is I'm going to use my glue gel for this one, and then I'm just going to come along and I'm just going to pop my glue gel on the back of my sentiment. Now keep in mind that you're going to have that crossover, so I only want my glue gel towards that left hand side on the back. That's then going to go into the middle just here. And then what I can then do is I can come along, or I'm going to lift that first actually, and that's the joyous thing with having the glue gel, is you can then lift off. We're just going to press that metallic thread into place. That's going to be sandwiched by the glue gel. We're going to pop that one back. I'm going to leave that excess just flowing upwards. It's creating that little bit of that rustic snowflake feel to it. That will then dry completely rock hard and solid, and then all that we need to do is finish off with our little bow. We're just going to then come along. I'm going to bring that one into there at a bit of an angle, and there is our cute little 4x4 fold back card. You've got the envelopes as well to go with them. Of course, we're just going to let that dry, and then that's going to be nice, strong, sturdy. If I bring in that one that I've done beforehand, where it's already dried, you can see that is how it's going to look. And that is just one of the projects that you can make from a sparkling winter from Crafter's Companion. Now, a sparkling winter, it is absolutely jam-packed full with over 530 elements, which includes the ability to create your little gift boxes. Already cut, already scored, all you need to do is assemble and decorate, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing when it comes to this cute little box here. Now what we're going to do to start with is we're going to bring in one of these laser cut snowflakes. I've just popped them out very, very carefully, and now I'm going to come along and I'm going to do some inking. Now I'm going to do some inking with two of the shimmer ink pads that you get included. So I'm going to use Sparkling Winter and also the Ice Blue. Now what I'm away to do now, you can do direct onto your glass mat. I'm just using a non-stick mat just so it's easier for me to move and clean and then carry on with the project. And then you can come along with your blending tools, your finger daubers, or what you can then even do if you want to is then you can come along and then you can just go direct. I like to go direct when it comes to things such as snowflakes because you get more of that rustic, that sort of texture feel from the ink pad, and I think it's more pleasing and satisfying when it comes to the actual snowflake. So all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with that ice blue. So we're just going to start to add that towards the centre, and then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to come along with Sparkling Winter. Don't worry about cross-contamination because they're going to be able to just be wiped off any of that excess, and I'll just show you that just in a moment. But I'm just going in and I'm using the ink pad as a way to layer that colour. So all that I need to do then is I'm just going to come along with the Sparkling Winter, which is a gorgeous silver. It's got a grey tone to it as well. And then all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink over the top. So I'm just going to ink by pressing my ink pad, and then what that's then going to do is give you a nice coverage, but it's also going to blend within some of that ice blue as well. So we're just going to go into the edges, and then what we're just going to do is finish that off. So I'm just doing twisting motions. I'm being careful that I don't tear elements of the snowflake, but we're just going to work that in we're just going to then dab, and then I'm just going to pull out. And then what we can then do is we can come along and do the same with this final one. Now, because this is a shimmer ink pad, it stays open longer. What that just means is it stays that little bit wet a little bit longer. You can either heat set it with your heat tool or just let it dry naturally at room temperature. And I think what I'm going to do, although those two colours work really, really well, let's come in with the third one. I'm going to change my mind here, and I'm going to add a little bit of that Midnight Frost. And all that I'm going to do, and I'm keeping it at a little bit of an angle. Remember, you can use your finger daubers. You can then, of course, use your blending tools if you want. But what I am just going to do is go within that centre. I'm not being overly specific. I'm not bothered too much where the actual ink's going to go. I just want to create that little bit of an ombre sort of feel between the three colours and leaving it like that. That's all that I'm doing, and we are done, ready to start carrying on with the box. So I'm going to set that one out the way for now, and then all that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the two components of the boxes. Gone with the navy. Now, one that's got that deeper panel, that is your base, and then the one with the shallower panel, that is going to be your box lid. Now, the score lines are already done for you, so all that we're going to do is we're just going to fold. I like to fold with my fingers first, then I'll come along and then I'll do the burnishing. So we're just going to fold the tabs, and then we're going to do the same with the base. And if you are going to be decorating it with your papers, your mats and layers, your embellishments, I would always recommend that you do all your decorating before you assemble the box. So what we're going to do is we're just going to then fold these tabs, and then I'm just going to come in with my bone folder, give that a really good burnish, work our way around. We're just going to pop that one in, fold in. These tabs here are where you're going to pop your adhesive just shortly. That's then going to construct the base. And then what we're going to do for this one, I'm not adding any mats and layers or paper or anything to this. So I'm going to construct the base first of all. So when it comes to the panels, all that we're then going to do is we're just going to come along with our tape runner. We're just going to work that all the way around, get the tape going, and then we're just going to then finish that last one off. You can, if you want, use your red liner tape, or you can use your tacky glue. Personal preference, all three will do the job. We're just going to fold all four of these ones in. We're just mitering that corner 90 degrees, giving that a light rub. That's going to build up the heat with the adhesive and make it even stronger. So there is our base now, all good to go. We're going to set that one out the way. And then what I'm going to do within the actual lid of the box, I've got a mat and layer that I've already cut for the centre. Now I've already cut that one to just shy of 4 inches. The actual box itself is 4 inches. So I've cut that just a little bit shyer of the 4 inches to create a mat and layer. And then what I've already done, but I'm going to enhance it a little bit more, is I've taken one of the pre-embossed snowflake panels and I've cut it to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. You see I've gone round the edges, but I'm just going to add a little bit more. And what I'm just going to do is turn in my ink pad at an angle. I'm then just going to press on my card, and then I'm just going to pull away. If you want to use your blending tool for this also, you can do, or your finger daubers, but it creates a really nice sharp edge, rustic edge. I'm not overly concerned about going over the edge a bit too much. That's then just adding to that feel of the ice and the cold and the blue, and of course the snowflakes. Then what we can do is then we can then come along. Now I'm going to add this one into place using my tape runner. So that can then go onto my pattern paper. That can then sit over the top just here, and then press that in. We're then just going to add our adhesive onto the back of this one too. What we can then do is then we can then come along. If you want to add glitters, you can do. If you want to use your gilding flakes, you can do, or you can keep it natural like I have. So we're going to press that one into the middle and press. Before we assemble, what I've already done is cut 4 panels. Now these are all 1 1/4 by 4 inches. And what we can do within this one, add our tape. This is going to be the decoration for our lid. So we're going to work our way in. I'm keeping it with this pattern paper, but what you could do is take more of that pre-embossed layer and create additional layers for the edges as well. So you can keep it as simple as you want, but then you can then really start to make your creativity just flow within your mind. If you want to then start to add your die cuts from your own crafty stash, you can do. Maybe you've got some of your own stencils or embossing folders, you can do. But the good thing within this collection here is you don't need any of these extras. All you need is some adhesive. That is it. You're good to go to make your cards and your projects. All that I need to do now is I'm just going to come in with my snowflake. What I've already done, using the shimmer ink pads, I've stamped out one of the sentiments. Now, I've gone in with the Midnight Frost and done my warm winter wishes, and then I've gone around the edge with the ice blue. And then I'm also going to take some of my little gems as well. So what I'm going to do within this one is within my snowflake, I'm just going to add a little bit of my tacky glue within that center part of the snowflake, because I don't want it to be, that's the snowflake I mean, I don't want it to be kind of just stuck and flat. You know, I want there to be movement within the snowflake. And that, once I then start to lift the edges of the snowflake, this is when you're going to get more dimensional and you're going to get really that 3D effect. I'm then going to come in with my little sentiment here. Now for this one, what I am just going to do is I'm just going to use my glue gel. If you want to use your foam pads, you can do, but I'm just going to use my glue gel. And then what I'm going to do, this top left-hand corner, I'm going to create a little bit of a ribbon thread, a little bit of a bow just over the top there. So it's just bowed over, and then that's just going to sit into place just here. Then what I'm going to do, using my pokey tool, I'm going to come in with my gems. Now I'm going to go one into that top corner. I'm then going to come along, and then I'm going to do one into each of these corners here at the top, also down at the bottom. We're going to come in with that last one, press that in, and then once I've got all these ones into place, all that I'm going to do is add my adhesive into the panels of the tabs, and then what we can then do is start to construct that. We're going to miter the corners, fold them in, press. We're going to then fold in and then press. We're going to fold in and then press. And then when it comes to this one here, it's always easier, as I say, to decorate while the box lid is flat. And then all you need to do is come along, pop your little treats, pop your little gifts, whatever it is that you want to pop in there, into your little box. You've got a lovely deep box there that is 4 by 4 in size. You've got your snowflakes, we've used our ink pads, as well as the box bases and the box lid. All that's been made from a sparkling winter from Crafter's Companion. Within a sparkling winter, you've got over 530 elements for you to craft with. And that just means you can make some of your different concept cards as well. And that's what we're going to do with this one here. We've actually taken one of the 6x6 navy blue pearl card blanks, and we're going to chop it up. So let's get started and let's show you what I've done so far. So I'm just going to move that one out the way for now. Now what I have done is I've taken one of the 6x6 card blanks, and it would have been a full card blank that you can see just there. But then what I've done, towards that right hand side, I've just chopped away a panel that is 2 inches in width. So then what that will then give me is that will give me an aperture bridge within the middle. So what I'm then going to do to start with is let's do our mats and layers first of all. So I've brought one of those gorgeous ice blue pattern papers, and I've cut that down to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So all that I need to do is add my adhesive to mat and layer onto the back. So let's take that panel out the way for now, and let's fold that one out. So we're just going to pop that one into place, and then we're going to press that in. And then what we're going to do within that panel, and that strip there, we're going to add some more of the pattern paper. So each of these ones I've cut to 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. So 1 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I've done that on both of them. So this one we can then mat and layer as well. That one can then go into place. If you're not overly confident in getting your layer in the right place the first time, you can use your wet adhesive. But if you're kind of comfortable and confident when it comes to your dry adhesive, then your tape runner is going to be a helping hand. We're then just going to mat and layer that one into place as well. But of course, we need something to bridge that together. Otherwise, well, it's not a card, is it? So this is where we're going to bring in our acetate. Now we've got that gorgeous white foiled acetate, absolutely beautiful. That's also going to create that bridge, but it's going to create extra structure as well. So what I have done is I have cut that to a full size of 6 by 6, and this is how you can see it start to come into action. So what I'm going to do on the back here, let's add my tape. So I'm going to use my adhesive, and we're going to go around all 4 edges. Now what I like to do is I like to then just come along and then just layer that up against the edge of my card blank, fold that in, and now I've got that perfect size that we can see all the way around. So we've got that 90-degree, and it's a perfect front for your 6 by 6 card. We can come along now with our additional panel, and that can then be stuck over the top. So let's add our tape into this one. I'm not adding any additional mats and layers, no glitters, no flakes, no nothing, although you've got all of that within your collection, your sparkling winter, that you can use if you want to. Now that is now giving us a different take within a 6 by 6 card blank. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to bring in one of these laser cut snowflake panels. So I've got one of them already good to go. Now for this one, what I am just going to do is I'm going to bring in some of my tacky glue. So it's just my Collal tacky glue, and to make it easier to clean up, what I'm also just going to do is I'm just going to do this onto a little bit of our non-stick sheet. Can do it onto your glass mat, however this just makes it quicker to clean up. And then all that I'm going to do is within some of the smaller parts within the snowflakes, I'm just going to come along and then I'm just going to add some of my tacky glue. I'm going to use my finger, I'm going to dab, dab, and then I can move that out the way. What I'm then going to do is come along, and I've got a scrap piece of paper here, and then I'm going to come in with the iridescent glitter that you also get. Now, you've got your little sprinkler top if you want to use that, or of course you can just pop it out, and then we can then sprinkle the whole lot over the top. You don't need much at all, so we're just going to take all that excess off. Then what we're left with is such a beautiful, shiny, iridescent silver center. It's got that clear look as well with the silver that just picks up, but then we can then decant the rest of them into the pot. So we don't need much at all. It's going to last you such a long time, and then we can move that out the way. What I have already done within this one here, so I've already done this one. The only difference is I've popped some foam pads to the back here, and I've already taken the back of them already off. If you want to leave it flat, you can do, but by adding that extra bit of lift within that bridge within the center, what it also does is it lets your white foiled acetate shine through. We're then just going to pop that within the middle, and it's all sized perfectly. You don't need to think about it when you come along and you chop that panel at the side to 2 inches. It's all going to fit. We can see that effect that we're getting already. And then all that we need to do is come along with our little die cut sentiment, Christmas blessings. I've already tied a little bow. This is using the navy blue satin ribbon that you get included. I've got a few pearls here, and I've also threaded one of the little silver bells onto that silver metallic thread. So all that I'm going to do within this one here is I'm going to go to the top left-hand corner, add some of my tape, and then I'm going to press that silver thread into place here. I'm just going to chop some of that excess off at the top, so don't need any of that. Chop that away. I've then already got my adhesive on the back of my ribbon, so that can then go into place. Let's move that out the way. And then I'm going to come along with my Christmas blessings. Now for this one, you can either once again use your foam pads, or I'm just going to use my glue gel for this one, because I don't want too much height, but I want a little bit. So then your glue gel, that gives you the choice and the option of how high or how low that you want it. So we're just going to add a little bit to the base. That can go down to that bottom right-hand corner. We're going to press that one into place. I'm going to bring another pokey tool, and then we're just going to go in with our petals here, and then I'm going to do 3 of them at the top, 3 of them at the bottom, and they're going to consist of a larger one, then a medium one, and then we'll also do the smaller one as well. So that one can go into there. You've still got the option to add some into the center of the snowflakes if you want to, or of course, what recipient would not absolutely love this card? And you'll probably find they'll say, oh my gosh, where did you get that? And you'll be able to say, I made that from scratch for you. Absolutely beautiful when it comes to the 6x6 in size there. Use the papers, use in the laser cuts, as well as a lot of the embellishments from A Sparkling Winter from Crafter's Companion. With the Sparkling Winter, you've got the card blanks, the square card blanks that you can use. However, you can very, very easily turn them into something different. Now we're going to be making this twisted easel card, and we're going to be doing that using a 6x6 card blank that comes included. So all that I've done here is I've got my card blank. Now this part here, it is essential. What you are going to do is you're then going to be scoring from the bottom left-hand corner up to the top right-hand corner. I know visually it doesn't look quite right at the moment. However, you want to make sure that it's from the bottom left-hand corner up to the top right-hand corner. And then once you then fold that in, this is when you've got your twisted easel effect. So that is the basis of the card. What we are going to do is we're going to set that one out the way for now, and then we're going to bring in some of that navy blue pearl card that you've got included. I've already cut this to 5.5 by 5.5, and then what I've done is I've brought in the stencil that you also get included. Now for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my low tack tape, and we're going to create a bit of a hinge at the top. So what we're going to do is we're just going to line that up, and then what we're just going to do is press that into place. So if I then needed to come along and lay that down again, I've got my little hinge at the top. So we're just going to make sure that's all nice and flat. And then what we can then do is come in with our glitter paste. So we're going to use the glitter paste. I'm also going to use, it's the spatula that I've got here. You can use a really thick piece of cardstock. If you've got an old gift card that you don't use, then that's a good way to use it as a spatula. But this is what I'm going to be using for this one. So I'm then going to take my glitter paste, and I'm just going to take the lid off. And I would say as well, it is essential that you keep that foil lid on as well. It's just going to keep it nice and moist, and it just means that you're going to be able to use it for a long time coming without it drying out. And then all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a really nice layer along the top here. So going in along the top, then using my spatula, what I'm then just going to do is I'm just going to pull down. So I'm just going to pull all the way down, and then we're just going to give it a really nice layer. And then any little bits that you need to go back in and infill, you can absolutely do that. Although it's a sizable 6x6 stencil, you really don't need much at all when it comes to the glitter paste. So we're just going to come along, take any of that excess off, and then what we can do is decant that back into our pot. So we're just going to scrape all of that excess glitter paste, and then what we can then do, close that up. And then it is key as well that you give your spatula, or whatever it is that you're using as the spatula, a clean and a wipe. So we're just going to do that very quickly. And then what we can then do is using that little hinge that we've created at the top, if we then just hold and then pull that up, what we've then got is that beautiful iridescent glitter Look at that. Absolutely beautiful within the snowflakes there. All that we need to do is we just need to let that dry. So I'm just going to set that one out the way for now. I'm just going to bring this one in that I done just beforehand, and it's nice and dry now, ready to get creative with. So what we can do with this one is also set that to the side, and then we're going to bring in one of our little snowflakes. So this is our laser cut snowflakes, and we're going to come in with our Stay Sticky glue. So we're bringing in the liquid glue, also the Gildan flakes, and the little scourer that you get included too. And then I'm just going to come in with a little bit of scrap card or paper. What I'm then going to do is let's go in with our glue. I'm just going to come in with our non-stick sheet here. Only reason being is it's a lot quicker to clean off from my glass mat while we're doing this video. And then all that I'm going to do is put a little bit onto my non-stick mat or my glass mat or non-porous surface, and then we're just going to dab our finger. You can use a little sponge if you want to, not that one. Keep that one to take any of the excess flakes off, but if you've got a little sponge or blending tool, you can then of course use that one just to pop some of the glue over the top. You don't need much, but what it will do is once it's been coated, it will stay sticky. You can come along with your Gildan flakes or even your glitter if you want. Once you've got really nice coverage, what we're just going to do is bring in a little bit of scrap here. We can then just clean that one off just shortly. And then we're going to come in with our flakes. So we're just going to take our lid off. We're just going to open that one up. So we're just going to open it. And then we're just going to take a little bit out. You don't need much at all, although we've taken a nice big flake of it out. And then I'm just going to tap that over the top. I don't need any of that there, so I'm just going to set that back. We're going to go in with a little scoury tool. Now within this one here, what we're just going to do is we're just going to work our way around, and we're just going to take a lot of that excess off. If you find that I've got elements here where the glue's not quite picked up onto my wooden shape, all you need to do is just come along. There's no harm in adding a wee bit more glue after you've started to pop some of the flakes on. So all that we're then just going to do is we're just going to go back in. I'm just popping a little bit more, and then we're just going to then pop our finger in, and then we're just going to then spread that across. Work that in. We're just going to let that set just ever so slightly for a few seconds or two to let that glue settle onto the wooden shape, and then we can come back in with our flakes. So let's pop that one back into place. I'm just going to take some of that excess off my finger, and then we're going to go back once again with more of the flakes, and I'm just going to then sprinkle that over the top, and then what we can then do is then we can then just scrape all of that off using our little scoury tool. We're just going to peel, pull, scrape that one off, and then what you've got is you've got a lovely little foiled, look at that, within the snowflake there, that you can then come along either with your gems or your pearls. What you're then going to be left with is something that looks like that one. Now I'm going to do that a few times, or I've already done that a few times. So if I bring these ones in here, that you can see we've got our 3 snowflakes. That's how you can then add your Gildan flakes over the top. Let's bring back in our card blank here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do that base layer with some of the pattern paper. So I've got some of my elements here. So within this one, what I have done is I've cut that to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So it's just a little bit thinner than my 6 by 6 card blank. So we're just going to add our adhesive all the way around. We're then just going to pop that one into place just here. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to come along with some of these laser cut snowflakes. Now I'm going to use my scissors. What we can then do is chop them in half here. And then I've got a smaller one as well. Now I'm going to do the same. I'm going to chop that one in half here. And then I've taken another piece of the pattern paper. So I've got a little rectangle here that I've cut to 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. And using that white pearl within the collection, I've just created a little matting layer. And then with my scissors, I've just freehand cut around the edge just to create that little bit of curvature. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with 1/2 of the larger snowflakes. I'm going to use my tacky glue with a small applicator, and then I'm just going to sketch just a little bit of the glue onto the snowflake. Then for this one, what I'm going to do is pop down here. And then these two half snowflakes, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue into one. That one can go down into one corner. I'm going to take the other small half, add some glue, sketch that over the back, and then that can go into the top corner here. What I've already done is I've then come along and popped out one of the die cut sentiments. So I've come in there that says Snowflake Kisses. What a really lovely sentiment, works really well with the design that we're going with when it comes to this set here. And then what I'm going to do is I want to create a little bit of lift. So let's go in with our glue gel. You can use your foam pads if you want to, but I'm just going to go in with my glue gel first, and then I'm just going to pop a couple of little bits onto the back. We can see just here with the glue gel, that enables you to then go quite high or quite low. That's up to you. And then what we need to do at this point, we're just going to then bring back in our front of our card blank, and then we just want to have a look as to where we want to pop that, because this is going to act as our stopper for our twisted easel. So I'm happy with it to go here, and as we can see, that creates the stopper. And then I'm just going to open that up, and then I'm going to come back in with that little sentiment, and then we're going to add more of my glue gel, and that's then going to pop into the back there to create a little bit more lift. Now, of course, this is glue gel, so it does mean that you're going to have to let that dry before you send that off. But if I pop that one into place, and then what I can do before we come along and do that top part, let's bring in a few of the petals there. Let's bring in one of the snowflakes, and then I'm also going to come in with my pokey tool. And then for this one here, what I'm going to do is pop 3 of them. So let's do 1, then we're going to go in with a medium one, and then we can go in with a smaller one, and that one can go into here. Also, with one of the smaller ones, I'm going to then go into the center of my silver gilded flaked snowflake with a little bit of tacky glue, and then what we're just going to do is we're just going to add one of these petals into the center. Press that one in, and then while we're here, what we can then do is then we can just add a couple of the petals into the other 2 that are pre-done. We're just going to pick up that one, pop that one into place. We're just going to level that one off into here, set that one out of the way, and then what we can then do is take that final one, ready for us to come along, decorate and finish the front of our card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be careful so that I don't squish that. So let's set that to the side for now. Let's bring in these layers. Now this was the stencil layer with the glitter paste that I'd already pre-done. Now I'm using my pattern paper as a matting layer, but I don't want to waste any of that, so I've just got out the center. So what I'm going to do is go round the edge here with my tape runner, add that all the way round. That one can then go into place here. But I need to create extra rigidity when it comes to the top part of your twisted easel. So I've gone in with a piece of that pearl cardstock from the collection, and I've kept it at the size that it was, and that is 6 by 6. So what we can then do is add that into place. So we've created our own background using the stencil and the glitter paste. We're then just going to press, and then we're going to bring in one of the little pre-cut tags. Now what I have already done is using one of them, I've just chopped the bottom off. So I have cut away the bottom, and I've chopped away 2 inches from the bottom. So I've chopped that off, and incidentally that is what I used for this base layer here. So there's no waste there. So what we can then do is move that out of the way. Let's bring in a bit of pattern paper that I've cut to size. That can then get matted and layered onto our tag. So you've got options when it comes to the tags. If you want to keep them quite long, you can do. If you want to keep them shallower, you can do, of course, or cut into them, you've got that option. We're just going to decorate to finish here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along with another one of the cut snowflakes that we can see here. And then I'm going to go into that circular base here with my tacky glue. That's going to go into here and press. That other half that we've got left over, we're going to add some of our tacky glue into here. That can then go into the corner there. And then what I'm also then going to do is I'm then just going to come along, I'm going to add a little bit of glue gel onto the back of one of the snowflakes. That can go in here. We're going to add a little bit of glue gel into the other. That can go into here. And then that third one, let's just bring back in the base of our card, and that can then get added into the base. We're just going to offset that here. Then all that we need to do, take our tape runner once again, and then this time, if we bring and fold that one back in, we just want to make sure that we've got adhesive onto that one half of the triangle of the card blank. So we're just going to add that in, we're just going to add that on, and we're just going to line that up at that 90 degree. We're just then going to press that into place. Let's come back in with that little tag. We're then going to use some of our glue gel once again to lift that. We're just going to put some in each corner here. That can then be the front decoration of our card. The only thing that we need to do is bring in a little bow that I've already tied, and that is the navy satin ribbon that you also get included. We're just going to pop a little bit of glue gel onto the back just there. We're just going to press that in. We're just going to move them in ever so slightly, and then we're just going to lift, manipulate the little stopper, and then there we go. Once you've got all of them into place, twist that one around. We've then got our 6x6 twisted easel card that we have made with a Sparkling Winter collection from Crafter's Companion.